Bumerooski was unveiled, and I wasn't the only one fooled.
Graham. Who has the ball? Panthers do. That's Gerrod Bergen. I don't know where the ball went. Bergen cuts inside the 30. He's still on his feet. Inside the 20. And that's the 5. That's a MOJO touchdown. Gerrod Bergen takes it all the way for 6. And I didn't know where the ball was. Nobody did. 70-yard touchdown romp for Gerrod Bergen.
Try that one. Gain of 2. They move the ball up to the 39. The clock, though, continues to run because the ball was kept on the ground. We now have a minute. Inside a minute, we just turned to 59 seconds to play in the first half. You're going to be looking at a passing down here, Rick. And again, I'm going to keep harping on this till it happens. Look for Bergen somewhere in the pass pattern this drive. There goes. You know what the play is?
Close, there it goes.
Bumerooski. Bumerooski.
Behind the back, it worked again. You explained that before.
Okay, it's the Bumerooski play.
Tell us what happened now. There's Bergen going in. Explain that play.
Okay, now watch the replay. Watch the replay very carefully. They ran the same play. Watch as he sets it into the running back's gut. Watch him go unmolested. There he goes. It's his speed against McHenry. And Gerrod Bergen, for the second time this year, goes the distance of 61 yards. After the extra point, we're going to ask Bob Bailey to one more time show us that. If we can show it in slow motion, we can explain how the play works. Okay, we can't slow-mo it, but maybe we can look at it again. I tell you, an absolutely perfect call. That's exciting.
Here comes Wells for that extra point, and there it is. It's good, and that's going to bring the score 14-0 with 39 seconds left in this second period of play. As Barry was saying, that was the Bumerooski, and that is a very different handoff, or mis-handoff, you might say. Okay, we'll be back to Ratliff Stadium with 39 seconds left. The Panthers lead 14-0. We'll be back in a moment. As I said, we just scored on a quite different play, Barry. And Bergen, being the man that went all the way, what was it, 1 yard?
61 yards.
61 yards.
That's called the Bumerooski, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. Now watch, as he drops back, Bergen's here set. He's going to put the ball in his gut. He sits for 2 seconds, and now it's Bergen alone. All he has to do is beat the defensive man, Patrick McHenry, number 9. You can see the speed difference, and Bergen takes it the distance again. Hey, I want to thank our camera crew for following that play to its conclusion. That's the play that can fake everybody out. In fact, we said the second time it's been run, the other time was the 71 yards against Odessa High. That was right before the half when the Panthers needed a score badly. Same situation. Same thing. They score with 39 seconds to play before the first half. They got the ball, remember, with 1:33 to play. They pull a play out of the hat. Results in a touchdown, lead 14-0.
Well, that's definitely what they need to go into this nothing.
Now, you know, the coaching staff has to be, just kind of in shock, because that's not the kind of play that you see, in every film that you watch. I mean, it's going to show up in the Odessa High film, and that's the only place you're going to see it. If you didn't have the scouts for that game, or you didn't have that film to look at, you would not know that Permian uses that in its arsenal. I saw him use it this week in practice, and it was so cold that Bergen took the handoff. He'd only wait about a half a second to take off. Said it's too cold to sit there for 2 seconds. But I tell you, it goes to 61 yards.
It's amazing to me, Bergen's speed. I think it's very deceptive because, he's quick, but to outrun Patrick McHenry, who is a pretty good speedster himself, and he just breezed by those.
That's right. Well, in fact, they've run it twice this year. This was the third time. The second time was against Midland Lee. They tried the same play, was caught for a 2-yard loss. I asked Gerrod after the game, or later on in the next week, I said, well, it didn't work last week. And he looked at me and he said, I think it worked, but I think the defensive man didn't know I had the ball. He was pushing him out of the way to get to who he thought had the ball. Gerrod had his head down, didn't see him, and the guy, of course, took him to the turf, and he's down where his knee hits. So that time it didn't work, but I tell you, this time, let's recap what happened on the drive. 3 plays, 54 seconds, 74 yards in total. They took over the 26-yard line, and you might remember me saying I looked to see Bergen involved in the play at some point in that drive. I didn't expect the Bumerooski, that was named after Bum Phillips, by the way, also called the Bellyrooski, and Coach Hollingshead learned that from Bum Phillips while he was coaching at SMU back in the early 70s. They used it in a punt formation kind of a play, but But Coach Hollingshead has used it and kind of modified it and uses it in the situation we just saw him.
Well, it's amazing that we have talked about that, Barry, before, and you
Talked about it last week.
That's right, and about watching for it, and of course when they needed it the most, there it was. 16 seconds left.